Good morning. Welcome to this gathering of the family of Jesus. We gather on lands walked for thousands of years by people of the First Nations. We acknowledge the history, culture, and spirituality of the signatories to Treaty 6 and remember our responsibility as treaty members. We also honor the heritage and gifts of Métis people. May we live the respect that our words offer. In the name of Jesus, the light of the world, peace to you. A new day, a new year, a new light. Long ago, Magi were led by the light of a star and welcomed by the warm smile of the Christ child. We gather here in morning's light, seeking the face of Christ in each other. Christ welcomes the wise and the foolish, the rich and the poor, the extraordinary and the ordinary. We too will come to Bethlehem today and every day, for all are welcome here. Let us pray. Creator of life, light of the world, fire of our spirit, we come to you as the Magi came to the star. We come seeking Jesus, the promise fulfilled, and we bring the greatest gifts we can offer, ourselves and all that we can share with your world. And so too we come to the new year the same way, ready to find whatever opportunity awaits us and ready to live out the gifts we bring to it. We ask you to please be with us and light our way on the journey that lies ahead. Amen. I'd like to invite the children, anyone who's feeling a little childlike, to just meet me over by the star. I'll be right there. You just meet me over by the star. Anything. I just want to see if they go to the right place. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to see if you knew where you were going. Did you know where you were going? Like the kids in Ponoka, it should come to the front too, because they should know where they're going to, because there's a star there. I'm a little disappointed you didn't come to me, because I'm a star. There's a... My face is apparently on the back of the angel. Wow. That's, wow, good job, Grant. I am a star, apparently. I'm surprised you didn't all go to Tristan either. He's got a big star on his shirt, right?
Because he plays for Bash of Stars.
Because he's a star, right? We all have... Are you saying we all have stars? Wow, that couldn't have happened better. Come and sit with me down here for a second. So you know how this story we tell at Christmas, right? It looks like that over there, right? There's the baby Jesus in the manger, and there's Mary and Joseph. There's some sheep, because the shepherds are there with their sheep. Apparently, there's big old ox. There's an angel off the side. And see those three guys on the far side there? Yep. Who are they? They're the what? Are you sure? They might have just followed a map. Maybe they're not very bright. Could be. That's part of the story, right? How did the wise men get there? They followed the star, right? Absolutely. They saw a star. And here's the thing. When we tell the story, we kind of go, okay, there's three wise men. Sometimes we say they're kings, right? We three kings of Orient are. Have you ever heard that? Wow, that was probably just frightening then if you haven't heard it before. We tell this story about the baby's born, the shepherds, everyone's there, and then these wise guys show up because they followed the star, because there's a great star that shows them where to go. And that's because they knew, they were from way, way far away, like Saskatchewan, and they knew that, that Jesus was going to be born because they knew that star was going to appear. And they knew that because they'd read somewhere in a book that someday, a great king, a great ruler, a great leader was going to be born. And the sign for that was there'd be a star. So they knew exactly where to go. Pardon?
Are you sure they read a book?
I'm pretty sure they read it because they were wise. They would have had to read books, don't you think?
No.
They watched videos, didn't they?
No.
They watched a YouTube video and knew where they were going. Okay. Yeah.
No.
But here's the thing. That's how we tell the story. But in the story, it doesn't say there was only three. We think there was because it says in the story they brought three gifts. Do you remember what the three gifts are? Gold. Frankenstein. Frankincense and myrrh. Yes, absolutely. Do you know what those are? Well, you know what gold is. Everybody knows what gold is. Do you know what frankincense is?
Fancy oil.
Yes, it's stinky. Do you know what myrrh is?
Another fancy oil.
Yeah, also stinky. Okay, so gold and some stinky stuff. Okay. So we guessed that there's 3, but it doesn't actually say there was 3. It just says magi from the east. It doesn't say how many. So there could have been lots, like in this picture behind me. There could have been lots. Also, it doesn't actually say that they were kings. It says actually that they were magi, and magi are they're like astronomers or astrologers. They follow the stars. And so they knew that when they were looking at the sky and suddenly there was this new one, they knew that was the one, and they had to go. So they did, and they went to Jerusalem, and they asked Herod, who was the king of the Jews, where the new king of the Jews was, and of course Herod was really thrilled with that, as you can imagine, because he was the king of the Jews. He was not thrilled, and that turns bad later. But the Magi then go, where do we go? Because we saw the star, it's like right there, and it's like right there. So where do we, there's nothing, well actually, Jesus is here, right? Because Grayson's right there. Weren't you the baby Jesus one year in the Christmas pageant? What? Was it Elise? Did you know your dad was Jesus in a play? Did you know your uncle was Jesus in a play? We've talked about this before. The Jesus is strong in your family. He was also Jesus in Godspell. We have photographic evidence. That's right, it was a red-headed Jesus. Anyway, the point is, they followed the star, they found what they were looking for, right? Do you think they knew what they were looking for? No. They probably didn't, but when they saw Jesus, they knew. Do you know why?
Because he was special.
That is absolutely correct, thank you. Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all? We all are. We all are. Actually, I think what happened was they got there and they thought, oh, how incredibly disappointing is this? We were expecting to find a great king in a palace with like a big army and everything, because, you know, that's what great leaders are. You know, they have lots of money and orange hair and stuff, and that's what a leader looks like. And then they found this, you know, squirmy little baby thing in a box where you put food for animals. And his parents were poor people who weren't even from there. They weren't actually even from there. They'd actually just come to Bethlehem because, you know, originally it's a long story. But I don't think that's what they found. I don't think they thought at first that's what they were looking for at all. But you know what? I think the moment they saw Jesus, they knew. Oh, yes, it was. Don't you think? What do you see when you see a baby? Why are you looking at Grayson? He's not a baby now. He's a young man. When you look at a baby, what do you feel?
Rowan says he's a baby.
What do you feel when you see a baby? Don't you feel all warm inside? Don't you? Okay, I'm asking the wrong people. Don't you? Yeah. Yeah, unless, of course, they're screaming at you. But still. Love. I think they saw how much Jesus was loved by his mom and dad, and they saw them there, and they saw Jesus probably smiled at them with that, you know, that toothless look that little kids have, right? That really great toothless little smile, right? You're not going to smile for me, are you? Okay. I think they saw love, and I think they knew instantly that they'd found exactly what they were looking for. The star had led them to the right place. Do you know what's cool about that? What's cool about that? No, come on. What's the very first thing we started with after we decided that that was the star that you came to? Didn't we also decide Tristan had a star too? Didn't these guys have stars? Aren't we all stars? Of course we are. We're all stars because we can all show people love, right?
I am.
Yes. Thank you, Grayson. That was profound. Everyone say, I am. Thank you. We are all stars. We just need to show people the way to love. So we got a song today. We got us a little song today, and we're all going to do it together. The folks on Pinocchio are watching too, so we're all going to do this together. Hopefully. Okay, are you ready? We're going to do that. Do you remember Hamba Nati Kaluli Way 2?
Yes.
Okay, now some of you might not know. And it means show. It means great. It means God, show me the way. You show us the way to go. We will follow you. And it goes, yes. Hamba Nati Kaluli Way 2. Okay, so it's Hamba Nati Kaluli, not naughty, which I'm sure is a word we're all familiar with. Hamba Nati Kaluli Way 2. Kaluli Way 2. Kaluli Way 2. Hamba Nati Kaluli Way 2. Kaluli Way 2. Kaluli Way 2. And then the second part goes, Kaluli, Kaluli, Kaluli Way 2. Kaluli, Kaluli, Kaluli Way 2. And then we go back and do the first bit. I know you got that all, and everyone's got it, right? Got it. You know what would make it easier? I bet if we moved around a bit. So follow me. Oh wait, follow me. There we go. Okay, come on down here. We're going to show everyone the way. Okay. So you can stand up if you like and do it with us, or if you want to stay in your seat, you can stay in your seat, but you have to move something, whether it's your head or do one of these. That actually would be kind of cool. So feel free to do that, or do all of that. Okay. So we're going to go. We're going to go this way first. Okay, so we're going to go Hamba Nati Kaluli Way 2, Kaluli Way 2, Kaluli Way 2. Oh, that's not working. We better have clapping. Okay, so Hamba Nati Kaluli. Oh, that's not working either. Hang on. See, when you clap, you're doing the bug squish thing. Okay, this is squishing a bug. Definitely need a break. Let us pray together. God of wisdom and grace, please light our way with your truth, that we may live as we learn from your word. Amen.
Our first scripture reading today is from the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verses 1 to 6. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. For darkness shall cover the earth, and thick darkness the peoples. But the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory will appear over you. Nations shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your dawn. Lift up your eyes and look around. They all gather together. They come to you. Your sons shall come from far away, and your daughters shall be carried on their nurses' arms. Then you shall see and be radiant. Your heart shall thrill and rejoice, because the abundance of the sea shall be brought to you. The wealth of the nations shall come to you. A multitude of camels shall cover you, the young camels of Midian and Ephah. All those from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and frankincense, and shall proclaim the praise of the Lord. Our second reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 2, verses 1 to 12. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising, and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, and by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler, who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men, and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I might also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road.
Let us pray. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O God, our strength and our hope. Amen. So, there's been a lot of darkness lately. Not just last night. I mean that metaphorically. You know I do. Right away, you instantly knew I did. And here we are in the nice, beautiful, bright light of day. And we're going to talk about darkness. Because actually, as the metaphor works, it doesn't matter whether it's day or night. Darkness is something you feel. It's always struck me that we always talk about this story as being a story of light, this Christmas story. I am the light of the world. The light comes into the world. The light, the light, the light. We're always talking about the light. That's great. Don't get me wrong. That's super. It's just the story is about darkness. Think about the story for a second. Whenever I read a Bible story like this, I always try to imagine how the story goes. And sometimes the story looks very much like a movie. Probably one of those great epic ones made in the 50s, probably had Charlton Heston as the older Jesus or something like that, for some reason I have it in my head that the angel Gabriel visits Mary in the middle of the day. I think there's a song maybe about that. And to be fair, when Mary and Joseph travel to Bethlehem, they're going to travel during the day, right? Because they want to find somewhere safe at night because the road's not particularly safe, but they travel during. Everything else happens in the dark. When the baby's born, it's at night because they got there late, right? And the place was everywhere is full. You know the story. When the angel appears to the shepherds, the shepherds are in the fields with their sheep at night. And then the shepherds go immediately to Bethlehem, so they get there at night. How do the Magi get there? They follow the star, which they can only see at night. So the Magi traveled at night. There's so much darkness in this story, and that's just the real darkness, not the fear part. There's so much real darkness in this story, and into that darkness breaks this light. The light that is prophesied, right? We hear that prophecy in Isaiah, arise, shine, for your light has come. Or the people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. We read those prophecies as meaning Jesus. Of course, at the time they actually meant something else. But we read them as part of our tradition as meaning Jesus. The light has come. And in the story, the glory of the Lord shone round about them. The light of the star guides the Magi. You're not seeing any of that light unless there'd been darkness for the light to break into. Even in the beginning, go back to the beginning of Genesis. In the beginning, there was darkness and light. In fact, they were equal in the beginning. Actually, there's probably darkness first, even. Darkness is important. We're all over this story about it being light. Light. It's about light. But if you stare at the light long enough, you are nothing but blind. You need to recognize that the point of that light is that it is shining in the darkness and it illuminates something. If there's nothing there for it to shine on, you won't see anything. The point of the light isn't just the light itself, it's what it illuminates. So what does it illuminate? What does the light bring out of this story? Jesus. It brings Jesus. But as I was saying to the kids, do you think for the Magi that was enough? They knew this prophecy. They knew this prophecy that there'd be a great king, a great ruler. And at the time, sure, okay, they would have expected a specific thing. And so when they arrive at this poor little place in the middle of nowhere, and with these parents who are only there because they're required to be there, because somebody told them to be there, because they're too poor to say no, and here's this little kid, do you think that was what they were expecting to find? And the answer is yes, by the way, but only after they realize that it isn't that literal king thing isn't what they're looking for. The light has shone on something different. It's shone on something unexpected. They expected the same thing that's been expected for thousands of years, and it was something different. And when Jesus grows up, it's even something more different, something more unexpected. So right away, this light leads us to the unexpected. What else does the light shine on? The people that walked in darkness have seen a great light. Upon them has the light shone. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. This isn't just a story about illuminating Jesus. The season of Epiphany, it's called Epiphany, by the way, because Epiphany means revealing. So over the next 5 weeks, I think it's 6 this year. Sometimes I think 7's the most it can be. But it takes us to Lent, which, by the way, is the traditionally the time of darkness in the wilderness, right? We're going to talk about that when we get there, you can bet. But the season of Epiphany is the season of revealing. It's stories of Jesus being revealed as Jesus, the one that was promised. And it starts with this story of the Magi following the star. The prophecy is fulfilled. Here is Jesus. The prophecy is fulfilled. Wait a minute, you said the prophecy said a great ruler who has been, I think it says from the beginning, who has been here, whose origins are of old. We know what that means, except that isn't what it means. The light is illuminating something deeper, something more significant, something more important. So look at this season coming ahead, these stories of Jesus being revealed. The one that we actually should be hearing today, by the way, because this is not actually the day of Epiphany, that was yesterday. Today is the first Sunday of Epiphany, and the traditional story on the first Sunday of Epiphany is the baptism of Jesus. It's when the adult Jesus comes to the River Jordan and is baptized by John the Baptist. The clouds part, a dove, in some versions of the story, a dove alights on Jesus, and a voice is heard saying, "This is my beloved Son." Jesus is revealed as the Son of God. Shazam, there we go. What does that mean, though? What does that mean? Are you now staring at the Son of God and being blinded? Or are you seeing what that actually means in the stories that come out of that? So each week in Epiphany, by the way, I'll be just harassing you mercilessly about this. Each week in Epiphany, we're going to hear these stories about the revealing of Jesus. And the thing is that those stories don't just reveal Jesus, because the light shines on you. It's not just about us sitting there and watching and going, "Oh, look, it's Jesus." It's how the light illuminates you too, because the light shines on you. So the thing about this story of Christmas is it's wonderful to look at that manger scene. It's a lovely pastoral scene. It's beautiful. Let's admire that. And then a couple of days later, I actually saw somebody on Facebook saying they'd put away their Christmas decorations. I think it was the third day after Christmas. They actually even said, "I've put Christmas away." If you've done that, by the way, good for you. That's fine. Okay. But you can't. Can you? You can put your decorations away, but you can't put Christmas away. You just can't. Because it's every day. That's the point. Love comes into the world every day. You can watch it, or you can make it happen. Because the light shines on you. The whole point of this darkness, this light in the darkness thing, isn't to be blinded by the sun, but to see what it shines on. And it shines on you, it shines on the world. It shines on every moment of darkness we experience every day in our lives. And it illuminates something. And our learning from this story is what it shines on, what it illuminates for us, which is the way is love. It's that simple. The way is love. And you reflect that into the world. The light shines on you, and you reflect that light into the world. How are you going to do that? Well, lucky for you, if you come every Sunday for the next 5 or 6 weeks, that sounds like a sales pitch, didn't it? This is a point. This is a point. We can't leave this. I think I said this on Christmas Eve. You can't leave Jesus in the manger. He's got to get up and walk. He's got to, just like we do. You're not going to just sit here now forever. Please don't. At the end of the service day, you're going to get up and you're going to walk. You're going to go into the rest of the week. You're going to go and live your life. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to go, well, that was an hour, I'm not going to get back anytime soon? Or are you going to go and live the experience of us being together here this morning, of hearing a story about Jesus, of hearing a story about how people who expected a certain thing found something completely different and then went away rejoicing and praising God for having had this experience, their life having been illuminated for them. There's no other stories in the Bible, of course. There's no other stories about where the wise men went or what they did. I'd say I feel like I'm 12 years old again. Wise men, the Magi, the 3 kings, whatever you want to call them, or I don't know, however many there were in that picture just back when the kids were up here. But there's no stories about what happened to them. So what do you think happened to them? Think they actually just went home and went, well, that was nice. Next. Or do you think that story changed them somehow? Do you think it maybe illuminated something about their own lives and changed their own lives? Because we come here too. We follow the star. We hear the stories. And we can either let them sit here and leave them behind, or we can let them inform us, illuminate us, and take that into the world. The light shines on you. Share it with others. Reflect it into the world around you. Let the world see the light through you. We're all stars. We are. We're all stars. I don't know if you remember the kids in Bashaw last year, I want to say last year, did a play. Well, I guess it was a year ago now, officially, 2016, where the idea, whole concept of this little play was that we are all, in the beginning, our souls are all stars in the sky. And when we are born, we come from that star to here. And so the story is about this little star that needs to find his way, and it turns out, of course, that the little star is Jesus. But we're all stars. We're all lights in the sky. I don't know how many times I can repeat this metaphor now, but you are a star. You're a star. Are you going to bask in the glory of people staring at how beautiful you are? Or are you going to go and light the world? Please go and light the world. There is a time, as always, in our community prayer today for you to name persons or concerns or thanksgivings that you would like us to share as a community. So please feel free to speak boldly at the appropriate time during the prayer. Let us pray. Creator God, your gift to us is more than the world around us and more than the world within us. It is the word by which we journey, the light to see our way, and the Spirit which flows through us. We thank you and bless you for shining in our lives each day. Please hear our prayers today, that you would be with those who suffer, who struggle and weep in the darkness which comes with the pain of heart or soul or mind. Be light to the sick, the grieving, the lonely. Please bring to the world your love, your hope, and your peace. Bring quiet to conflict, gentleness to anger, freedom to the oppressed, and strength to the powerless. Let the light of wisdom and grace prevail. Please put the deep joy of your love in our hearts every day. Help us in all we do and say, that our lives may shine boldly with the light of your love. Here today we bring to you those persons, concerns, and thanksgivings that are dear to us, that most especially need your love and strength. And we name them now as a community.
My family, as we continue to support my sister Charlene and Tom through their loss.
And now, O God, we are one in prayer, but bring our own thanks and our own concerns. If some need to say, help me, or save me, or hold me, or forgive me, then let these be spoken now in the confidence of our hearts in a moment of quiet prayer. These and all our prayers we gather together in the prayer that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. There are many Christmas carols that I love dearly, and I know we all love dearly. There are two songs at Christmas that I think speak to what Christmas is really absolutely all about to me. One is the one that we just sang by Linnea Good about finding the light and living in the light in the world. The other is this hymn by Jim Strathdy, which uses the words of Howard Thurman, which we'll also use at the end of the service today, about when Christmas is, all of that Christmas stuff is put away, that's when the work begins. So if you find yourself wondering at Christmas time sometimes just what it's all about, don't listen to me go on and on for 20 minutes or more. Sing these hymns to yourself. Read these words, because it really is. These two in particular speak to what it's about. Here is your minute for mission. video.
My name is Hwaka Kukubo.
You might have to read it.
I'm the National Advisor for the Refugee Program for the United Church of Canada.
My name is Amaris Bashi. I'm an advisor at the Refugee Program at the United Church of Canada.
The United Church of Canada has been a sponsorship agreement holder since 1979. Congregations across the country sponsoring refugees from the time of the boat people to the My name is Hwaka Kukubo. I'm the National Advisor for the Refugee Program for the United Church of Canada.
My name is Amaris Bashi. I'm an advisor at the Refugee Program at the United Church of Canada.
The United Church of Canada has been a sponsorship agreement holder since 1979. Congregations across the country have been sponsoring refugees from the time of the boat people to the recent Syrian refugee crisis.
I am a refugee myself, and at a certain point I needed a chance, which Canada gave it to me. I believe that most refugees deserve this chance.
Working with refugees, helping them, giving them hope is addictive. When you help one person, you feel the need to help another person and another person. Working with refugees is very gratifying. When you help a family, you know that you're offering protection to that family, and not only to that family. Being in Canada, supporting one family might also mean that you're supporting other families. They have loved ones left behind. And sometimes when things are okay, we are able to reunite families. So it's a great feeling. Congregations get involved. It's new friendships. It's building the neighborhood. It's a great thing.
During the last year, I witnessed a lot of private citizens who are getting together and forming groups to help sponsoring refugees. It's been a privilege working with refugees and give me hope and to give more efforts, helping more refugees come to Canada and start a new life.
We are thankful for the inspiring work with refugees happening in United Churches across the country. We invite you to share your video testimonies of how you and your church became involved in working with refugees and how this has impacted your faith and community. Please share your 2 to 3 minute video testimony on social media using the hashtag #UnitedWithRefugees. We look forward to seeing your responses. Thank you and blessings on your work.
Your gifts to the mission and service of the United Church of Canada help make projects like this possible. Thank you, and please continue to give.
Just before Christmas, actually, there's a refugee group in Stettler that welcomed a Syrian family, I think Syrian family, just before Christmas, of which Stettler United Church is a part. So right close by, mission and services at work. Please remember the work of the church in your offering today in the box in the lobby. Thanks to everyone participating today, and thanks to everyone who saw the notice at the last minute and brought food for us to have lunch today. There was also a little bit of food left over from the community theater dinner last night, too. So if you didn't know it was potluck today and you thought, oh, I didn't bring anything, don't worry about it. We got lots. So please do stay. You'll also notice that we changed that a little bit. We've kind of changed the whole family ship time thing. And now, instead of trying to have something after church each week, we're going to try and do potluck on the first Sunday and soup and a bun on the third Sunday. And in those other Sundays, if people want to stay around afterwards, they're welcome to do that, but we won't sort of formally have anything. And at the same time, we're also going to start putting coffee on early. So if, say, you'd like to come early and, just chat with people at the back or sit in a pew and enjoy some quiet time with a coffee, tea, or hot chocolate or something like that, you are welcome, more than welcome to do that. And so please do take that opportunity to enjoy some family ship time, because that's the point of all of that stuff, is for us to have time to share together. So that means that for the family ship time thing, there's only one thing that you actually really have to sign up for, and it's the soup and a bun thing, and hey, there's one in 2 weeks. So please do feel free to sign up. Now, I know some of you are probably wondering to yourself, hey, potluck was always the last Sunday of the month. What are you doing? You're messing with, like, something sacred here. The reason is, quite frankly, because I'm here on the first and third Sundays, and I must be fed. I'm kidding. I was actually going to leave it on the second and fourth, and then it was pointed out to me that that family ship time, is time for me, too, to be with you. And if it's on the Sundays that I'm not here, it's kind of not helpful, is it? So that's why we switched it. So please do take the opportunity to be part of that. Today is also a Fun Script Day, I believe. It is a Fun Script Day. If you are doing Fun Script, the forms are in the lobby, and you can pass those on to Andrea. And if you are not doing Fun Script, why not? Seriously, why not? Because talk to Andrea about it. It is actually a really good way of doing things, and it supports the church in a really positive way, too. So please look into it. It's worth doing. Speaking of worth doing, a week from Friday, the 19th, is our first movie night of the new year, and the movie is Captain Underpants. Yes, I said Captain Underpants. If you're not familiar with the Captain, you should come and see the movie. There's much that's going to be happening in the new year. We have an annual meeting coming up on the 4th of February. He said, looking at the board chair, hoping to get some affirmation. Yes. Now, for those of you who are thinking that, oh dear, that means I should avoid Ben for the next 3 or 4 weeks because he's going to ask me to do something, he probably is. So don't avoid him.
I know where to find most of them.
Okay, excellent. All right. Mel passed away. What do you say about somebody who's been such a community builder? Right? We'll be celebrating Mel's life later this week. I think Thursday, but I'm not sure we have a time for sure yet, do we? We don't have a time yet. So please do look for. We'll post that on Facebook, and please make sure that you know about that. We talk endlessly about being a community of faith and a community of people, but what it means to build community. Here's a guy who did. Are there any other announcements today? When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. We go into the world to live God's love, revealed in Jesus, the child of Bethlehem. May God bless us all as we go. Amen.